Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Thanks for being here today, stopping by to see what's on the agenda, and it's annoying stuff. We're going to talk about annoying people on a date. And there's a study again. You know, I love these studies. And also, people tell me. They tell me in their feedback from their dates what they liked and didn't like about this person. And there seem to be things that come up over and over again. That's why I love to share this with you, because I have the inside track here. So if you're new, I'm Carrie. I'm a matchmaker and a dating coach, and I have this show. It's about dating and relating. For some of you, it's new because you're young and just starting to commingle. For some of you, it's like, okay, it's been 15 years. Where is he already? And some others of you, it's, wow, I'm back here again. I didn't expect to be out here dating after the age of 40 or 50 or beyond. The 9 most annoying things you are doing on a date, and do or don't know. Maybe you're doing them on purpose. Ooh, that would be interesting. That's what's on the agenda. I think I want to work my way down from 9 to 1, the number one complaint. I think it would be anticlimactic to start with the biggest complaint everybody has. And I think as we work our way through, you'll probably be able to figure out what that is on your own, because you'll think of it at some point, and I haven't said it yet. So let's do that. Let's start with number 9. Oh, how timely. I just did an episode on who pays on a first date. The annoying thing people do on a first date is not offering to split the bill. So I'm not going to tell you too much about my opinion on this, because there's a whole brand new episode about who should pay and who should be splitting checks. But I'll spoil it a little bit by, no matter who I think should pay, I'm always suggesting that on the first date, the other person should be offering to help with the bill or the check from dinner or drinks or whatever you are doing. So always offering. And so I agree on this one. Do you? Number 8, I think we recently did an episode about stop dating your phone and date the person in front of you. But it makes sense, because the most annoying thing people do, number 8 on the list, is using their phone to document the occasion, to share pictures with their friends or Snapchat or Instagram, saving photos for later, sending one to your mom, taking pictures of your food, pictures of your drinks, taking a selfie of you and your first date. It's super weird anyway. So don't be pulling out your phone on a first date. If you're expecting an important call, have it in your lap, face down, so you can feel it vibrate in an emergency situation. And let's ignore our phones while we're trying to get to know somebody new and not be super annoying. Number 7 has to do with the conversation itself. And another thing that people find annoying is somebody who's not really making an effort. For some people, they are a little bit more shy, and it takes them a while to warm up and start participating more in the conversation. But that has to come along sooner rather than later. Because if you're being quiet and not asking questions or sharing stories, other people are going to find that annoying. They want an active participant. So don't be too quiet. Nobody wants to have to lean in, or if you're in a loud place, be aware of the fact that you need to be projecting to this person. You may even want to make sure you think about this prior to choosing the place. I always, as a matchmaker, choose places based on the volume of the place. If I ever get feedback that a place was too loud and they struggle to hear each other, it gets crossed off my list. I put a loud right across it, and I don't send people there on a first date ever again. And then also, if you're interested, you will be engaging, because you'll be wanting to know more. You'll want to know more about who, why, where, and you can ask those questions. Number 6, it happens way too often on the dates I plan. Being late. People are late. I'd say 50% of the time, one of the 2 people I'm sending out are messaging me before the date starts, asking me to let the other person know that they're running 5, 10, 20 minutes behind. What's that little phrase that they say? If you're not 10 minutes early, you're already late. I think that's for sure true about a first date. And what's the other thing, the meme I put on my Instagram? Oh, sorry, I'm late. Traffic was exactly the same as it's been for the last 30 times I've driven that route. Just face it, some of us are just not great at time management, and we have to know that about ourselves, be aware, and act accordingly. If we have to psych ourselves out and tell ourselves that the date is a half an hour earlier, play games with ourselves, then do so. But to be late for a first date, there's really no excuse for that. I'm nothing wrong with being there first, nothing wrong with ordering yourself a beverage before your date arrives, having conversations with people around you, or even just waiting in your car for a few minutes until the other person lets you know that they're arriving. So no excuse to be late. Don't do it. People think it's really annoying. Number 5 has to go back all the way to number 9, which was not offering to split the bill. And this one is not offering to pay for the bill. This was mostly women saying that they expect that if a man asks them on a date, they expect him to pay for the first date. They didn't say they expect them to for subsequent dates, but a first date, that is most women's expectations. And you can do what you want, but just be aware of what that expectation is and why. And we've gone through that. I've got a whole episode about who pays, why, what those variables could be, what would change that up, how to handle subsequent dates based on your decision for the first date. That's all there. I'll link to it right here for you and at the end of the episode. But it was more women than men that find it annoying when a man doesn't offer, at least, to pick up that tab on date number 1. Number 7, as you may recall, was being too quiet and not contributing to the conversation. Number 4 is the exact opposite. This person monopolized the conversation, seemed disinterested in getting to know their date. Sometimes I've heard that people barely come up for air once you get them talking about themselves. And very, very often I have feedback where one person or the other says, wow, I didn't feel like they really asked anything about me. And I wonder how this could be true. Wouldn't somebody know that they're on a date and they'd have not asked their partner anything? So I imagine this person just could be great at sharing on their own and telling stories and just filling you in. But there should be some follow-up questions, right? What they do share should spark some type of curiosity within you that you would want to know more about something if you're having a good time at all. There are certainly occasions where you know after 15 minutes that this person is not the one for you. You never want to see them again. And you're just trying to be pleasant and polite and have a nice evening. Sometimes people will shut down and they do what they want to do. Sometimes they'll just start talking about themselves and engaging themselves in conversation and making it enjoyable. They want to enjoy their own company. So I've seen that happen, but that's usually indicative of knowing that there's not going to be a second date. But if you do think you want to see this person again, make sure to ask those follow-up questions. Find out who they are. Not the bland, boring ones. We've talked about this in a million episodes. Not where you grew up, where you went to school, and many brothers and sisters, but the stuff we talk about when I'm coaching. Those are the things I want you talking about. Number 3, this one would drive me crazy. This one would be a deal breaker for me. And I don't know, because you can't really say anything on a first date. I mean, if it were my spouse doing this, I would, stab them with a fork. But on a first date, somebody's chewing loudly or making mouth noises. It gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. But it's horrible manners, and it's not how I was raised by my parents. And I've known people who do this and told them that I can hear the food in your mouth. And some people are like, well, it's just the way I chew. And they don't want to improve or change. And then that would never be the person for me, because I can't stand mouth noises or people who chew with their mouth open. I want to see somebody's food. I don't want to hear it. So I'm not really alone in that, because it's number 3 on the list of the annoying things that people do. If you're a person who chews loudly, you may want to look into closing your mouth on occasion while you're eating food. You'd be more popular on dates, and it wouldn't be anything that would trigger a red flag or a deal breaker for anyone you're out on a date with. Why not get that one out of the way? It's just super easy to do. What do you think number 2 is? Number 2 is having met on a dating app and having photos that are not an accurate portrayal of the person who shows up on this date. As I was saying, number two is not looking like the photos that were exchanged, whether that was on a dating profile or a friend exchanged photographs, whatever way that this person obtained a photo of you doesn't look anything like you. And I will share, because I must, in case you're new, my story about Eva. She was sitting at a bar waiting for the fellow to show up at the restaurant, and a guy walked up and he said, "Are you Eva?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm Eva." This was not a date I planned for her because I don't share photographs of clients with the people I match them with. So this was a date she had planned for herself prior to working with me. So she's at the bar and he says, "Are you Eva?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm Eva." He goes, "Oh, I'm Steve." She said, "No, you're not Steve." He goes, "Yeah, I'm Steve. I'm Steve. I'm here to meet you for our date." And she said, "No, I saw the picture on the website. You're not Steve." And he said, "Oh, the picture on the website. No, those weren't me. Those were my nephew." So don't do that. In fact, if you ever head on over to coffeewithcarrie.com and investigate the services I offer along with date coaching in general, there's also a service I offer called dating profile optimization. And that is something that we work really hard at when I'm doing that service with people. The sole purpose of working with me in that situation is to make sure your dating profile reflects everything about who you are. Not everything about you, but everything that's in your profile reflects truly and accurately who you are as a person, from every written word to every photograph. And it is a huge complaint I hear. It's often why people come to work with me as a matchmaker. They're tired of going out on dates and meeting up with somebody who looks nothing like what they had expected. So my tip is, if you're on the dating apps, make sure those photographs look just like you. In fact, when I was on the apps, I had one right out of the shower, wet hair, no makeup. I think my hair was in a towel because that's actually kind of cute. It's like an immediate facelift. But basically said, this is who's showing up if we meet, right? No makeup, nothing. So I didn't want to be fooling nobody, to be putting airbrushed photos of yourself or pictures from 20 years ago or even 2 years ago. Sometimes things change, 40 pounds ago, 40 years ago. That's not helpful. You have to show up and meet this person. You want them to be pleasantly surprised that you're the person they're on a date with, not pining for the person that they thought was going to show up. So don't work against yourself. Work to your own best interest and make sure your pictures are true and accurate. And then finally, number one, you know what it is, don't you? Yes, I've made episodes about it. Here's one right now. Using your telephone while on a date. I don't care if it's sharing pictures, texting, social network kind of stuff, getting up to take a phone call, taking your phone with you to the bathroom to check in with a friend and give them an update. It's the number one most annoying thing that people do on dates. Don't date your phone. Leave it there. People find it very annoying. If you cannot concentrate for an hour and a half or 2 hours on another human being who you've chosen to spend time with and get to know without having your phone in your hand or handy, then we've got some problems here that need to be addressed. And addressing them would mean leave your phone in your purse, in your pocket, on the chair next to you. I'm not saying you have to turn it off if you're in a situation where there could be someone reaching out to you with an emergency, but if not, turn it off. Leave it in the car. I know it's hard. No one is more addicted to their phone than I am, I promise you. Of course, I work on my phone, but if you saw the amount of hours logged in any given week, you would be shocked. But I promise you that on a date, even on a date with a friend, that my phone is not center stage there. It's tucked away. And I even try very hard in those situations to not share photographs. And that's with people that I know well, who I'm sure would be interested in some of my photos. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And that takes us from 9 to 1, the most annoying things that people do on dates. And I would love to hear if there's one that you're finding super hard to break that habit. Leave us a comment down in the comment section and let us know what it is. And we'll do like a little poll. That'll be fun. I'll add them all up and let you know in the community tab. Appreciate you stopping by today. Look, my mom. She said that she hopes you'll give the episode a thumbs up if you found that interesting, fun, or helpful. And I would love that too. Also, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to the channel so that we can hang out again sometime. And if you want to hit that ring bell, then you get notified every time I put up a new episode. I'll look forward to seeing you back again soon. And until next time, thanks again and have a good one. Frank always feels that when I'm filming episodes, it's the perfect time to explore the wrapping paper. His timing is horrific. He's a sweet boy, but his timing stinks. Yeah, does your timing stink, Franklin, huh? Oh, what a sweet boy you are. What a sweet boy you are, Frank. Yeah, what are you doing? You know you're on camera, huh? Do you know you're on camera, buddy? What a good boy, purring. You just need a little love to stay out of trouble, huh? You a little Dickens? Yeah, thank you. Lately, he's been biting my hair. All right, Frank's going to sit in my lap for a minute, and then he'll resume his annoying behavior. This is our last first date, Frank. Our last first date. He also chews with his mouth open.